If you manage a digital storefront or track account health, you know how quickly spreadsheets can overwhelm you. But all of that scattered data can actually collapse into a single, clean interface. To do that, we use Structured Query Language, or SQL. It is a specialized tool that lets you bypass the spreadsheets and talk directly to your database to pull exact answers. You do not need a computer science degree or a programming background to use it. It is highly logical and reads almost like plain English. By the end of the next 5 minutes, you will write a complete functional query from scratch to pinpoint exactly which items in your inventory are running low on stock. Moving from manual scrolling to automated queries shifts the focus from hunting for information to actually using it. You get the specific data you need to make replenishment decisions in seconds rather than hours. Before we type any code, we have to look at the backend layout. This graphic shows a large, structured filing cabinet, representing how a database stores raw information. Inside this cabinet, your data flattens out into highly organized grids. We call these master grids tables. A single table holds one specific category of information, like your complete product listings. Looking at the top of the grid, you will see the horizontal headers. These are your columns, tracking specific categories like price or item name. Below those headers, the horizontal lines illuminate. These are your rows. They represent individual actual items populating your database. Writing SQL is simply using clear, plain English commands to ask this organized filing system direct questions. Because the data follows this strict grid layout, the system locates specific data points instantly, regardless of having 10 rows or 10,000. Let's open up the query editor and write our first command. Every request must begin with the word select. This tells the database what information we want to see. If we want to view absolutely everything in the table, we type a star symbol, which acts as a wildcard, meaning all columns. Next, we drop down a line and use the word from. This instructs the database exactly where to look. Here is our first query in the editor. Select star from product listings. Running this command pulls your entire raw inventory onto the screen. If you omit the from command, the query will completely fail because the system lacks a geographic target. Pulling all that data works, but looking at every single product ID and description creates unnecessary visual clutter. To fix this, we delete the star. Instead, we type out the exact column names we need, item name and price. Look closely at the syntax in the editor. You must place a comma between item name and price. Without it, the system reads it as one long word and throws an error. Run that updated command, and the output cleanly shrinks down to just those two columns. Stripping away the irrelevant data columns forces your attention onto the exact metrics you need to make rapid inventory decisions. Now we apply this to our core business problem, finding the items running dangerously low on stock. We can filter our data using the where clause. With this query, the database looks at our product listings table, checks the stock quantity column, and only returns the rows where the stock is less than 10. By executing this single targeted filter, you bypass hours of manual human scrolling with exactly 3 lines of code. You have now written a functional query from scratch that successfully isolates your low stock inventory. These 3 commands form the basic structure of nearly every data request. Select defines your columns, from specifies the table, and where applies your filter. Once you master this foundation, the next step is learning to link entirely different tables together using join commands. Ultimately, SQL is a tool of precision. It is about learning the exact language required to ask your data the right questions.